Hello everyone, I hope this is working. I've been having some fun times this morning. I've been trying to get this to work since about 11, so I'm not even sure. I just tried a live stream a minute ago and it said I was offline, and now it says I'm live. Like it never switched over to the live part, so I hope I'm online right now, and I guess I'll wait and see if anyone shows up to my thing. And I'll just kind of get ready as I'm going. I'm going to paint Little Red Riding Hood today, and I think it'll be a fun one to do. So I'm just going to kind of work up. I'll leave that up there till I'm totally ready. And I'm looking to see, I'm checking my own channel out to make sure my live stream is actually going up, and I'm trying to refresh the page. Okay, so it says live one watching. I think it's just me. So, okay, I think it's working. So I'll go ahead and get started. Partly what was taking me so long is I was trying really hard earlier to do like little music in the background. And I went through like all these old musics that I had made for the, hold on, I'm getting like a feedback on my thing. I think I need to mute something here. There we go. I don't think you guys will be able to hear it. It was just coming from my headphones. But yeah, I was trying to get some music to loop, and I did everything the tutorial said to do, but it still wouldn't work. And then I couldn't get my audio working, and so I've just been having my usual fun times. So I'm going to start with sketching out something for Little Red Riding Hood. I think I was going to have her looking over her shoulder a bit, like she's like, what's going on over there? And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to make it a little bit more, see if I can draw a circle there, a little bit more like her head is tilted and she's looking. So something like this angle, just trying to picture it in your head before you sketch it out. And yeah, we'll see how that works. Hold on a sec, I'm just checking something out real quick. I was going to get some references up and stuff, and I didn't get a chance to do that either. So I'm just gonna wing it. I think it'll be fun. So I'm just gonna kind of shape in her face, and then you know, we'll have the big hood eventually. I was gonna get a reference from Moon. I might look that up midstream, but I'll keep going for now. So just shape in her face. It can be real messy and janky for now. Let's see here. I'm just checking to make sure. Always checking. Oops. Now I've entered the full screen by accident. Always checking to make sure my thing is running. I think it is. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to put in her face shape. This generally, real rough sketch-wise, I was going to have, maybe not quite that far down, I was going to have her here, you know, with her hood kind of going out and down, and then it would go back like that. And that's just kind of the general idea that I had. We'll see how it ends up being executed. So we'll do kind of nice and close on her face. Maybe, let's see, how far back? That's the question. How far back do we want her? Like, do we want it so she's totally looking over her shoulder? Like, that might be her shoulder, and then her back is back here, and her neck will line up like that? Or does that look a little strange, like she's looking too far over? Hi, Cyborg Rex. Do you have a lot of fond memories of Little Red Riding Hood? I'm sure it's in the public domain, so I'm sure there's been a lot of renditions of her. But it's good that I saw a text on the chat, because I was a little bit worried that it wasn't working. So I'm always having problems. I don't know what it is. I'm cursed. I don't think I'm like really, I don't think of myself as like dumb when it comes to technology. I think of myself as a little bit cursed though, so maybe it is just a human error being dumb thing. It's possible. Okay, so let's start shaping in her features. We'll get her eye tops here. And then her nose, I think, is actually going to come in a little bit more like this, since she's going to be turned around, and just kind of sketch in her nose like it'll be around there. I'm going to erase some of these guidelines, and then I'm going to look at doing her lips. Maybe something like that angle. Your mom used to... Cyborg Rex says, my mom used to read this story when I was a child, but she changed the ending to non-violent. She was just looking out for your sensibilities there. Yeah, the original story is... Well, I guess all the Grimm tales weren't really for, like, children. Originally, they were supposed to be, like, warnings. So, it's pretty dark. Like, if you know the Little Mermaid one, I believe she's cursed, or she goes to the witch to make a deal, and every time she tries to take a step after she gets her legs, it feels like knives, stabbing into her feet, and I think her sisters might cut their hair to try to save her, and she doesn't go with them because she's still in love with the prince, and so I think everyone dies, something like that. It's not exactly, yeah, it's not exactly child-friendly stuff, the originals. But I guess the idea there, I don't know what the lesson there is. Don't trust a witch. Don't trust a sea witch. And then for Little Red Riding Hood, of course, the tale involves like cutting open wolves' stomachs to get old grandma out. So not exactly. I don't know how do they change it? I wonder if they made like a cartoon for Nickelodeon nowadays, if they would change it. I don't want this quite at this angle because it's a little bit like illustrative instead of painted. So I think her lips are a little too far down. I'm going to shrink her face up a little bit this way and see if that might help. And just kind of keep generally getting the shapes. Hi, Lemon. Oh, I forgot to send out my usual message to let people know I was live streaming. I was trying really, really hard to get the some music playing, and it was like an hour-long, fruitless attempt. And so then by the time I did this, I felt like I got to just get on. So I'm really sorry to send out my usual message. What did, let's see. This is kind of weird, but it says 4 people in the chat, but no one is talking. I'm taking a drink of tea, sorry. Yeah, I think what it is people can watch and then not talk. And I think sometimes people watch from like devices they can't really talk on. Or maybe they just don't have anything to say. But I do always encourage people to come and say things. Maybe a little bit more PG-13 than Scratch, who always has fun little openings. Yeah, so I really want to figure out this OBS. I even went on Reddit today to try to... I was going to ask about the black twitchy boxes and to see how you can get people to... or how to add like an audio source from like Discord. And even just for that, I couldn't get Reddit to load. It kept saying, cannot load, retry, and I'd retry, and I tried from a different browser, and I couldn't get it to load. So I don't know if Reddit's down or if I literally am just that cursed. Yeah. So, yeah, think of like a family event where kids are around Lemon Scratch and keep it that rated. So how is everyone today? I hope everyone's doing good. It's kind of the first cold weekend that I've had here. I live in the mountains, and there was snow on the mountains this morning. Like, not where I live, but I was a little bit surprised by that. I was like, that seems a little bit early, but maybe not. Okay, I'm just moving something around so I can see better. I don't have the official chat thing up. I have it on because I've got my live stream open in case there was something wrong with it. So I hope that one's not delayed more than the official one, but it's probably all the same. I see Lemon Scratch has his priorities right. Did you ever have the DARE program in Hong Kong? Probably not. It was... I don't even know if it's still around in the US, but we had people come and they were like, drugs are going to be bad for kids. So we would watch like anti-drug videos and stuff. They were kind of funny. Yeah, so I don't think her head, I guess that's the wrong angle. Let's see. So I was thinking about this for a while, but I always wanted to do a collab with you in a meme. Yeah, I'm always up for collabs and trades and stuff. I do have to warn people. I just did one with Sandra's Art Life, and it took me about 2 months because my life's been a little bit crazy pants right now. So yeah, so I'm always up for collabs. You can contact me, either like leave a comment somewhere on a video or something where I'll see it, or through Twitter or something like that, and then we could work something out. But you have to have a little bit of patience with me. Okay, so I think I'm gonna give her black hair. Does she usually have like kind of wavy hair? Let's see if that's her like hair point. Yeah, let's give her, well, let's draw on her cape first before we draw on her hair. Make it a little bit easier. Let's see here. Something, I'm trying to think, like, I guess it could come down a little bit and then out like this, and then maybe down a little bit. I'm trying to think of how far. I guess we'll have it come like in, like there's something there, and maybe this one will come out a little bit more. I don't know, we might change this up a bit. Writing, Ridhung Hood, Superwoman confirmed. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. Hello, Frank. Thank you for your support. Yeah, so I should have really looked up a reference for a cape, because I always have this thing like, I'm just gonna wing it. And I'm terrible. I always need references. I don't know why I do this. I have one reference up of like a girl right now, but it's not even in the right pose. So I don't know if I'm just terrible. So we'll just have this here, and then her cape maybe will be going in like that. So if I'm gonna erase this just to take a look. I don't think that's right. I'm gonna move the cape out just a bit so you can see it like that, and you'll just barely see a little bit of her ear. And I think it's gonna need to go way back more because she has no head right now. Heads aren't that important, are they? Having headroom. So yeah, let's just blow it up. It's better if it looks like it's too big for her, then it's cutting her head off. Maybe I'll shrink this whole thing down a little bit. And while we're at it, let's flip it and see if it's still, it looks like a little bit like gravity-wise, like everything is pulling to this side a little too much, in my opinion. So I think I'm going to fix that by pulling the cape back just a little bit. So we'll warp it and we'll pull it back like that. And then I'm going to take her and move her like this. And then that's a little bit more like she's like, I think before it looked like she was tripping forward a little bit. Question, how old am I? I am 31, so I'm kind of like an oldie, I think, on YouTube. A little bit more though, so than some people, but not exactly like, you know, 31 is the answer. Some people say that's old, some people say it's still young. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit old, like you're in your 20s and you're living and you're happy, and then all of a sudden your 30s come rolling around the corner and you're like, what? I didn't agree to this. But yeah, so I'm out of school. I'm in my 30s now. Oh, you're 42? Yeah, that's actually a little bit older than I thought. I thought you were maybe late 30s. I guess you're pretty close to that. Lemon Scratch, you feel old already. Everyone feels old around like the 18-year-old mark, and then you feel young again once you hit your 20s, and then you hit 30 and you're just depressed. At least that was my experience. So yeah, I think this looks good. I think we'll have like, I'm trying to think how much the cape, how much I want it to be like, what's the word, like how fabricy, how loose versus stiff I want the fabric. Like if it's fleece, it'll have less wrinkles, and if it's something a little bit more, I think I will just give it like less wrinkles. The idea being hopefully it will be like a little bit warmer for poor Red Robin Hood. I'll just mix the name. I feel better than when I was 25. Oh, that's good. I think some of it's like where you are at in your life too, about how old you feel and stuff, and how healthy you are and stuff. That might make a bit of a difference. But it's good to know that you feel better now, and hopefully you'll continue to feel better. It's always just, I think there's like spiritual journeys, and there's, you know, healthy eating and exercise and all that you have to kind of work out at some point if you haven't learned it by the time you're like 20 or so. Yeah, you hit 50 and have a midlife crisis. I think some people have them even earlier than that. And maybe some people have them later. I don't know if there's a certain age for midlife crises. Okay, so since she's got her head turned, I imagine her cape will actually be pulling a little bit like that. So I'm going to get rid of that line because I don't think it makes a lot of sense. But we can have like an area here maybe. This might look a little funky, but well, I'm just going to keep going with it. And then I actually think this should come out like it's coming in too quickly. So I'm going to warp it out so it looks a little bit more like it's sticking out looser like that. And then now I'm going to finally draw in her hair as I was trying to decide how to draw it. And since it's kind of mostly hidden behind all this stuff, I'm going to move this down a little bit. I might, I think I will give her wavy hair. I'm going to give her black hair because I think the black will go good with the red. And I'll give her some like wavy hair that's just coming out a little bit here. And then you'll be able to see some in there maybe. And then over on this side, we'll have it come down. Maybe it's like it's implied that it might be pulled back a bit because I don't want to be like totally covered in hair. And I guess I should give her eyes. And so I always forget to give her eyes. Hello, how are you? I can't remember if you told me what to call you. I feel so bad. But I can't read the characters, the letters. The letters, that's the word I'm thinking of. Mumble mumble. I keep putting my hand in front of, like, cause I sit here sometimes and when I'm drawing one-handed and I put my chin in my hand and for some reason I keep putting it over my mouth, and I'm sure that's not helping making it sound, making my myself heard very well. But yeah, so I think that's pretty good for the sketch. I'm going to move her eyes down a little bit. I think I always tend to draw them a little bit too high. When you're drawing like cartoon style, you can kind of get by with doing all that kind of stuff for whatever and then just calling it your style. But when you're digitally painting, you have to be a little bit more careful. Let's take a flip around look. So like for instance, now that I've flipped it, I can see this eye is too high up. Rinzi. Okay, Rinzi. I need to write down, I need to write that down so I don't forget. I am going to literally write it down right now. That was a pen clicking. And I'm going to say Rinzi just in case. I feel so bad if I forgot for a third time. I think Lemon Scratch, you're trying to peddle the wrong stuff. We should peddle a love and life and happiness. You think she looks too old? Yeah, I think this eye's a little buggy. I need to figure out. I'm actually wondering if I don't quite like this angle because originally I was gonna have her like looking over like she was worried, and maybe I will change it up. I'm still trying to decide. It's still in the sketching phase, so I might have some time. I don't know. Maybe we'll just have her just a little bit more out like this, so she's looking back. I'm trying to decide. No, I don't have. I mean, I technically have Instagram, but I don't have a smartphone or anything. Because I've got an old flip phone. So you can't use Instagram unless you have a smart device. So I have one technically that you can sign up for on a computer, but I can't really use it. So that is my answer. Yeah, if I ever get a smartphone, I think I will do that. I think I'm going to going to put this over here for now, because I do think it's a little bit, it's looking a little weird. Maybe I just need to move her face down a little bit. I'm going to try that and see. Like this. I don't know. Maybe it's the hood. Maybe I didn't nail the hood in. Maybe that's the problem. Let's try, I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to just ignore that sketch, try a new sketch. Do I have Snake on my phone? I don't think I have any games on my phone. It's like in between the brick phones that had all those games and the smartphones that had a million games. What I had an old Nokia brick, and it was like vibrant green. And I had Snake on there, and I played it until I played it so obsessively I got it all the way to where it had to eat its tail. So like as far as you can get in the game. That just shows you how much I played it. Yes, I'm American. I live in the Colorado Rockies. So yeah. And I'm trying to figure out how big I want to make this. I think we're going to do this one. Oops. I don't want to find anything. I accidentally hit America. Where are you from? Oh, Frank, I think you said in your videos that you're from, originally from Italy, and that's why you went there. Now you're living in Amsterdam. Yeah, Colorado's nice. Certain parts of Colorado's nice. You know, the richer places you go, the nicer it is, but I guess that's kind of how it is for every country and state. But I live kind of in a very rural place, so it's a little bit, I don't want her face to look quite like that, just a little bit, I guess, I don't know. It's not the ritziest place, but there's Telluride and Aspen and all those places that are like kind of the ski places, and I think those are a little bit more visit friendly. Did you say got music, Lemon Scratch? Yeah, I was trying to get the music to work. I went through all the like songs that I had made in GarageBand, and I picked out some, and I had like an hour and 40 minutes of music all in one track. And I did add media in OBS, and it just didn't work. I couldn't get it to work. I was trying to get it to work for like an hour or so, and then it didn't work, so I was just like, all right, I guess I'll better get on to the live stream. I have really bad luck with that. What I need to do is just try to ask some professional if they'll help me out, but I need some kind person to volunteer their time to do it, I think. So I was going to go on Reddit, but I've already said for some reason it was down. You're going to watch the live stream on your computer and draw on your phone. Oh, that's fun. I didn't know you could draw on a phone very well. Do I have... Oh, music on my phone? No. I think technically I might be able to put some really small like MIDI files on. Probably not. It's like a very old looking brick. I should take a picture sometime. What happened was I had another one and it died, the charging port died, and then someone else volunteered to give me their old one. So it's like really chewed up because there was a guy and they had pockets, and or they kept it in their pockets rather with change, so you can imagine how scratched up it became. But it's okay. When I get my life in order one day, I'll get a nice smartphone of some sort and get Instagram and all those. I don't know what I'm doing here. I've made this look very manly. Little red manly hood. That's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. I want this. Yeah, I think this is a good enough face. Maybe I'll look up a reference in a minute of a woman looking this way and make sure I can get it right. I think I'm gonna have her tilted a little bit here so she can maybe be smiling like this, and then her lips will be here, and here, and then I'll just have to fix this part of her face. Her lips are a little too big right now. Sometimes it takes a little bit. You just have to kind of work through the initial sketching phase. It doesn't probably help that I didn't warm up much. I did do like a really quick thing for the thumbnail. That one was turning out a little funny too. Okay, let's see. And then I think I'm going to have her cheek go out a little bit more like that. And yeah, we'll have her cheek go out a little bit more. Your back. You can use your phone for drawing everything. That's cool. I wonder how big is your phone screen? Do you know, like, I don't know if they go by inches, or I guess I don't know where you live, Rinzi, but yeah. How big is the screen? Like, you can say in centimeters or whatever. My chair's gonna squeak as I shift around. Okay, I think now I'm going a little bit slower than I normally do. Let's just power through and get these sketches up a little bit. And I think before I do any more, I mean, I can put her eyes a little bit more in like this. Should she be looking here? Maybe let's not have her smiling. Maybe she'll be like pouting a bit because the wolf is after her. Yeah. So I've lost all my guides in my shrinking. I always do that. I'm like, I'm going to use these guides, and then I immediately erase them all. But that's okay. I'm going to warp this in a little bit. I want to give her that kind of like a younger look. And for that, I think I need to shrink some stuff up here. Shrink this up here. And the nose needs to be a little bit more out. We'll be painting this, so it's okay. Hello, Mexicano. What should you draw? Maybe, I don't know. You could draw Little Red Riding Hood, or you could draw the wolf or someone. Yeah, so then, let's see. I'm just going to kind of place in her hair that maybe that's what threw me off about drawing the hood the first time around. We'll get it going here. Have something like this maybe. And then now we can draw the hood in. So if her head was here, it would come down and it'd be interrupted. This is the back part. It would be interrupted. Oh, hello, Diana. 6 centimeters wide, 8 long. Okay. Do you draw with a stylus or your finger? Because I guess that's the thing that throws me. Drawing with your finger seems really hard, but maybe you would get used to it. I mean, I had a pretty small, my very first tablet was pretty small. I think it was 4 by 6 inches, which you can imagine is like a postcard. Yeah, so we'll have that. Let's see, have her thing, it would come here, maybe meet up here, and then the back part would meet up to the front. And then we could have it come out just a little bit before it swings back around. I think I like that a little bit more for the hood, and this maybe won't come out quite so far. It'll come down a little bit like that, and then it can come in out and then in for her cheek, and then meet down here. And I guess we should give her some kind of shoulders so she's not just a floating head. And her neck can come in here, and maybe I'll have like her hair a little bit more pronounced on her hair. I did the same thing last time where I've made her cloak like it's crushing the back of her head. Oh, you use a pencil. Oh yeah. I think it would be really fun to have you on limb and scratch, and you could draw in your usual style. I used to do hello Deathlake. I used to do guest appearances on Russ Mix when he was still live streaming in the mornings, or mornings for me, and sometimes we'd have funny little draw-offs and they were funny. But taking another quick sip of tea, and then I'm gonna keep going. yeah, I think I've kind of crushed the back of her head again with this, so I'll just kind of pull it back a little bit and give her a nice big wide cranium area. And then, oops, and then I think what I want is, the idea is that it would go here, and then the hood part might break away from this line here, possibly. I try to just do what looks right, but I can't quite figure it out, so I'm just going to keep going. Shrink this down and then push this up a little bit. And let's take a look here if her eyes are lined up. I'm not going to go, I think I'm going to do a little bit of detail, and then I'm going to just go ahead and start painting, because I've been kind of sketching. I'm failing in the sketching phase today. So maybe I'll just move on to painting and see how it turns out. So let's see. I'm just going to move this back a little bit, like that. Where is Rust Mix? Yeah, I don't know. Every time I come on here, someone asks me. I don't know. I've been trying to talk to him on Google Hangouts, but I'm not very good. It used to show up with my email every time I checked Gmail, and it's disappeared. I don't know what's happened. They must have done an update where they've like taken that feature out or something. So I have to remember to check it manually every day, and I'm very bad at that. Just like I'm terrible at remembering to check my Discord and stuff. So it's been kind of slow talking to him. I think he might just be having a little bit a case of the bummers lately or something. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I think he might be having some troubles, and he's just probably sorting those out a little bit. And I hope he's okay, and I will keep him in my thoughts. Hello, WPVF or FV. That's a weird dyslexic moment. Yeah, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and move on. I'm going to pick a background color, and since I wanted to make this kind of like a nighttime thing, it's going to be pretty dark. So we'll do that for the background, and maybe I'll make it a gradient to start off with, just because I don't know, kind of helps like decide where the light's going to be. And actually, where will the light be? I guess the general rule is you should always make the light catching their face. Oops, did that the wrong way. So maybe something like that. I'll move the sketch over like this, and maybe if I have time, I was thinking about having like a moon or something here. I thought that would be fun. So yeah, so now I'm just going to start putting in the color. You have no idea what to do with your channel. Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes. I do a lot of, I used to do like how to draw little things like for kids, and I don't think anyone cared about those videos. And then I started doing like speed paints and illustrations, and I think art challenges are really fun, but they're hard for me to find time to record. So I was thinking next time I might do the art blind challenge, and that's where you this was suggested by oh, what's her name or his name? I can't think of the name now, but that's basically where you turn your monitor to black and white and try to paint and then reveal it in the end and see how messed up it is. We will never know what happened. I do think he's around. He just might not have time for YouTube right now. Maybe I'll send him a message after my live stream. I meant to send a message to him letting him know I was live streaming. So hopefully he won't get mad and think that I forgot about him there. So yeah, let's start putting in some colors for her. I want this to be a little bit harder, hardness wise. Oh, I guess I should turn my opacity all the way up. Put in some colors for her and get the painting part of this going. I might just end up painting a lot of it because I'm not like super married to this sketch. I think it could be a little bit better. So I'm just going to kind of move in here with the painting and colors and hair and all that. We'll just kind of probably change it a little bit after we've gotten the painting done. I don't want her neck. I guess her neck can go out that far. Put in her chin and her cheek and her forehead. And then her hair I did want to be black, but of course I'm not going to pick like black. I think I'll pick like a blue black maybe. See what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's good for the base color. You helped me a lot how to draw people kissing. Oh, well, that's a good one. Yeah, I noticed that there weren't a lot of kissing tutorials, and I thought, well, it's almost Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll draw one. Yeah, I think I was going to do one where people were hugging, and I never got around to that one. But I want to do like some Let's Paints and stuff. Back in the day I used to do some of those, and my live streams have kind of taken over for that. But OBS doesn't capture, like you guys can see, just paint showing up, but because OBS doesn't capture the like brushes or any of the extra windows, so when I go into like the liquify filter, it doesn't capture that, so it's not quite the same, I don't think, which is a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, I guess I probably won't be doing the hugging tutorial. I think I might do something for Halloween. How to create your own style in drawing. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to smack right into the mic there. I was just taking a quick drink. I've seen a lot of videos like that, like how to create your own style and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if it's really that much of a, it's more of like you just start drawing and you learn what you like to draw and how you like to draw it. And sometimes you like copy little things that you see other people do and you're like, I like the way they draw eyes, I'm gonna draw my eyes similar to that. So I don't know if I would be very good at making a video. I would probably just be like, do what feels right. And people are like, that's cop out. My style constantly changes too. I don't know if I have like a very consistent one. But it's a good idea. I will have to think on it. Let's see. Taking another quick little drink. Okay, I want to double check something. Okay. I always like to make sure my OBS gets covered sometimes when I move like my chat window around and stuff. I always want to make sure it's reading that it's still going and stuff, because there's a little bit of like a delay, I think. So I might not know until the stream cuts out if there's something wrong. Yeah, we'll have her red cape like this. And I think I've cut her hair out a little bit here, so I'll patch that in. Let's see. My original style was probably very, I guess, inspired by or just similar to like the Naruto style, because my friends and I, and yeah, I guess my friends and I were like drawing them way back when I was still in school and stuff. So that might be kind of the original part of my drawing style, but I don't know, I guess it's evolved a lot since then. And I went through kind of this thing where everyone either draws anime or comic book styles, and I think I just sort of settled in between that too. 2 monitors for world domination. Oh, yeah, that I really do want another monitor, especially if you edit like very complicated videos with a lot of audio layers and video layers. Second monitor would be super nice in that case. My sister used to be a video editor and she got 2 monitors with her job. She should have stolen one. No, just kidding. You're struggling to type and draw at the same time. I guess it's hard to multitask on a phone like that. Michael Myers, are you suggesting that for the Halloween drawing? I think I might have done, maybe not. Her hair is going to come out like this, but I think I'm going to do that on a separate, I probably should have done the hood on a separate layer actually. I'll do this on this layer. So her hair will be just visible behind this and over here. Okay, I just realized I just looked at my monitor. I don't know if you guys can see the sketches. Not that it matters. That's because I've turned the opacity down. Okay. I just want to make sure that that was intentional, and it was. So now I'm going to start adding the shadows and the highlights. And I'm picking colors. I know you guys can't see that little color window right now. I don't know how crazy I want to go. I don't want to go too crazy. We'll pick a light orange to start and just a light red-orange for the base shadow. Oh, and then I want to change my opacity down. And I want to change my hardness. And we'll see, that's good. Then I can start just sort of slowly placing in some shadow areas. I don't think I want my hardness quite that low. And under her neck will be really shadowy. Just shifting this around so I can see. I realized I had shut down the thing. Never mind. I'm always like trying to explain things and then I'm bad at verbalizing. Can you see my drawing? I'll have to check it out afterwards. Well, I'm gonna have to check it out afterwards, but I will try to remember. I'll write it down so I don't forget. Just gonna write it down. Did you go, Lemon? I didn't even realize. Sorry. Hello. Isn't it very late there where you live? Lemon lives in Hong Kong. And I think Death Lake, if I'm not mistaken, lives somewhere like... do you live in England? I think you have like an English accent, but maybe I'm getting that wrong. I guess it's later over there now. It's like 12:44 p.m. here. So, yeah, we'll have her neck be nice and dark. Three in the morning. That's so late. I used to do that. I used to stay up till 6 a.m. back when I was in high school. And then sometimes I would stay up really late and then go to school and I'd be really, really tired. You live in America, Rinzi? That's great. I was wondering if anyone else in America ever came on here. That's exciting. So we'll draw in some nose shadow and yeah, just kind of not quickly. Quietly, nope, that's not the word. Just kind of sketchy word. Sketchily put these in. My ability to speak is amazing sometimes. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have the light here. So we'll have most of our shadows here. I think my opacity is just a little too high. I'm gonna turn that down. We'll keep going. Hello, Cuisine Haida. And then we'll have some here and then some by the eye. Just kind of slowly put this in. Slowly, I keep saying slowly. I don't really want to work slowly. I want to work proficiently. So we'll have that here and under here. And maybe like a little bit darker area here. We should just go ahead and put the lips in a little bit here so they're marked in when I hide my sketch layer. And just mark some little areas there. And then this nose is going to be interesting. The way I've done the angle is going to be hard because you won't see much of that nostril, just a little touch. And we'll just mark in that nostril here. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll come down here and have a little shadow there. I hope you're having a good day, Cuisine. Or Haida. I never know when I shorten people's names, like which part to say. And then I'm gonna mark it in where her eyes will be. And see if I can get those down like that. And then a little over like this. And a little up and down. And over and down like this. I think that'll look right. And when I hide this, yeah, this eye over here is probably down a little bit. Okay, Haida, or Hada? I hope I'm saying, I guess it's Ha, Hadia. Hadia? I'm very bad at pronouncing names. I'm sorry if I've butchered it. Yeah, so her eye over here is up a little bit too far. I don't know if it's let me see. When I remove this, yeah, we'll just kind of move it down. It doesn't hurt to do that at this stage, I think. Something like that. And then we could probably do without the sketch now. It wasn't doing me any favors anyways. I'm gonna do a hair layer and give her some eyebrows just to kind of shape that part of it in. And so we'll have it ready to go for later. And I'm just gonna mark where they're gonna be in here. And then probably around here. Should you change your channel name? Well, I don't know. I think you should have it be whatever you want it to be. This is America. Are you referring to the song, or are you just proclaiming this is America? Yeah, okay, so we'll just have that sketched in there. And I just keep going with the shadows and highlights, I think. And we'll do some over here on the cape and get that kind of going at the same time as everything else. So since we have this shape going out a little bit, I'm going to make kind of a triangular shadow here. This is probably not quite dark enough to mark it in. So I'm going to have a triangular shadow here where it might come in. And then we'll just have like some areas here. Let's do a highlight while we're at it. Let's make it kind of a, yeah, let's kind of make it like a pinkish highlight, pinkish purple highlight. I'm picking colors, sorry. I wish it would capture better, but we'll have that go down like that and a highlight, and then there'll be a wrinkle here, and we'll mark these in better in the future. But for now, we'll have it like that, and then we'll have the final wrinkle here, and then eventually we'll go through and have a highlight on this part here. Very sketchy, but I'm just kind of planning out the highlights and shadows. Actually, I think I want this one to go over like that, and then it'll come and be sort of interrupted by the shadow over here. And then this one will come in more like that, where it's getting like pulled in that area. Yeah, just figure out how I want it. And we'll make this dark area here. And yeah, I think that'll look good just to kind of get it ready for final detailing later. Just kind of marking those wrinkles. Maybe we'll have another one like right up here and here, and a little bit caught here at the back. Oh, thank you. Squeaky chair, because I'm trying to squeak in. Oh no, there's a bug in my water. I'm gonna, here you go, little bug, I'm gonna save you. Mostly because I don't want to drink you. Alright, now you have to get off my thumb. There you go, little bug. Don't you don't go back in my water. I'm gonna take a quick drink. Thank you, Hadia. I hope that's the name. And then we'll draw in some shadow part. I'm not gonna detail her hair too much from here, but I'm gonna draw in some shadow part like there and like here. Yeah, and then this will actually probably be really dark over here where the cape will get it. And then I guess I should, while I'm here, I forgot this side of the cape. So what's going to happen is this is actually kind of like the top area, and then over here it'll be cut off by this inner part. And I guess I have it going out here. I'll have to reshape. These lines are all kind of jaggedy over here, but I'll have to reshape them later. So I'll make this nice and dark back here, almost like you can't, it's going into the black area where you can't make out much at all, and that'll go along with her hair there. I think that's good. Who remembers Bob Ross? I love Bob Ross. He's a very chill guy. Oh, I'm glad I'm saying the name right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do, I don't really want to do too much on the hair. I'll just do that on the hair layer, I guess. We'll start marking in. I do want her to have, let's make a highlight color as well. This one will be kind of a brown highlight. Is that a highlight? Not quite high enough, I guess. We'll make it a little bit lighter to see. There we go. And then she'll have, I want this like, this area here, like it comes down. And maybe actually it comes down and swoops back over her eye, because I always think that looks kind of nice when the hair goes over your eye a little bit. So we'll just kind of paint that in for future stuff. I'm not going to paint it too much because I want to draw in the eye underneath. So we'll have it, you know, like a little bit like that. And then like this. And yeah, I think that looks good. And then maybe something like, maybe her hair will end up coming over this part a little bit here. Maybe just have like a little bit showing over in here where it's coming out of the shadow. And then over here, I think I was gonna have it wavy, like it's curling in this area. So I'll just kind of place some strands and just sort of get like, it's like almost like you're sketching even when you're painting in a way. You're just blocking in the colors. It's kind of the beauty of having the digital art or the digital computer technique, because you can kind of mess around and just make it as messy as you want, and you don't have to worry about like wasting paint or brush strokes or any of that. Okay, so I think that'll be good for her hair. I'm gonna go back to her color, the base color. And I'm going to take a quick drink of my tea. Okay, so now she has a very pale face compared to kind of how dark I want it to be. So I'm going to go through, I could select the face and mess with the levels. I know I'm doing it with the entirety thing there, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through with a darker shadow and apply it. And I'm going to go to overlay, and that'll show you what I mean. Like, just put it, that's going to be a little too yellow, I think. I'm going to make it a redder color and a darker color, and just kind of just go right over it, just like that. And that's already a little darker. And then I'm going to go to multiply with, not with black. I didn't mean to do that. With another kind of dark color. And then over here, I'm just going to add some darker colors. That's still a little too black. I have it on a red color. I think it's turning a little too black. So then I won't have to go through, yeah, I think that's a good quick little fix. And I'll go back to normal and we'll start picking our shadows and highlights by hand again. So speaking of which, I'm going to pick a little base mid-tone color and a darker shadow color. I'm going to start going in and really laying in these darker shadows around the eyes and the nose area and stuff. So like, why does this all look so dark? I think I just haven't picked a saturated enough color. We'll try these. Is that still looking black? It is. I'm making sure my settings are all right. I think I just need a little bit more saturated of a color. I guess that'll work. So I'll put this back here, put this back here, and put this under here. And then for this color, we'll work on the nose. I want like a little bit of area here. What are you beating the devil out of? Lemon Scratch. The wolf. Yeah, so I want to put some shadows in this area here under her nose, and then since I decided the light was going to be here, there'll actually be a little bit of shadowy area here, and in the corner of her mouth there'll be a little bit of shadowy area, and then in the very corner there'll actually be a highlight. I don't know if it's bothering to put it in now or not, but my chair is very squeaky today. Put that here and then here. I think this is coming together a little bit more. She's got a little more definition on her now. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to pick a darker color go in. I might blow up the thing when I work on the eyes. For some reason I've gotten in the habit of trying not to blow it up too much when I do speed paints, because then it's kind of like this nauseous looking thing when it keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out, or you know, just bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. So I think it's actually time that I learned to break that habit though, because it's starting to mess me up here. So this, I don't really like the shape of her face here. I want this to come out a little bit. So I'm gonna work on this for a minute, reshape it. It might look a little funny before I get exactly how I want it to go. You gotta sleep. Well, I hope you get some good sleep. Thank you for stopping by and coming over and seeing me and making all your usual comments. I think, and yeah, something like that maybe. And maybe that needs to go in a little bit. I'm just trying to look at it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to filter liquify and then I'm going to go, it's going to take a second to load, and then I'm going to just work on it for a second. It'll probably just show the regular screen for you, nothing changing. I want her face to come out just a touch over here and go in a little bit by the eyes and stuff. So let's take a look here. So that's the new, that was the old, that's the new. I think I like the new better. I'm gonna take another quick little drink with my tea. And then I'm gonna shift in my chair real quick. Look at that, I have the mute feature now. It took me like 5 live streams to get that one. So I can mute. Okay, let's see. Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a highlight, even though I think generally it's a little too bright, but yeah, we'll go in with a little bit of a highlight, and I just want to kind of mark out all the areas that will be highlighted real quick, so we'll have that ready for our future speed painting. So like her nose might be catching some light, her cheekbone over here might be catching some light, and a little bit in the corners of her eyes always catches a little bit of light. Put those in there. Oh, hello Renzi. Are you still drawing? We got drugs. Oh. I love how sometimes someone will say something like totally innocent in the YouTube thing and it'll block it, and then you can say all that you just said and it doesn't even like block it. Oh well. I think it's funny. I don't have it set to any, it's just whatever default settings it is. So let's see, a little bit of highlight on her nose here and a little bit under here. Okay, I think we're good. I know it's silly to add the highlights. I know they're kind of finishing touches, but I really want to get her in. Oh, my sister's texting me. I don't think that was too loud though. I don't want to get her. I forgot, lost the train of thought. That train of thought has moved on to the next station. Yeah, so let's keep going and making some more darker shadows. I want this nose area to have a nice dark shadow, and a little bit under her lip here, and her face over here, and a little bit under her eyes. I know I'm drawing under the hair at this point, but it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of that. And this area of her eye will be nice and dark too, so we'll really push that in there. The darkest part is under the nose area and the nostrils, and then in that eye area there. For the face I usually find unless there's some kind of really weird lighting or something. Even though I'm not going to draw her lips in right now, I don't want it to look like that. I want to mark in where the shadow is going to be, just to help me make sure I'm keeping everything placed right, because I think her lips might actually need to go down a little bit, or maybe her nose. Let's make I'm going to make a duplicate layer and make it a clipping mask. Select this nose, feather it about 15 pixels. And I'm going to go up like that. And then I'm going to move her mouth up as well. So feather, oops, I don't want to grab quite that much of the nose. I'm going to feather 15 pixels, and I'm going to move it over and up a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better. What did you end up deciding to draw, Lindsay? Take a quick drink, if you don't mind me asking. You don't have to share if you don't want. I'm just curious. Okay, so we'll, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm just taking a quick moment to look at it and contemplate it and go, Oh, squeaky chair, I shifted. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know how to fix it. I think it needs like grease or something. I feel like a little bit embarrassed even though it's just a chair. I don't know what that is. Okay, so I'm going to work on her hood a little bit and try to smooth that out and get that a little more defined, like tonal wise. And I think I might go to overlay on my brush preset and work a little bit of some more colors. Like right now everything's very red. I think I might work a little bit of some blues in certain areas for, like, you know, highlight reasons or just varying colors. So maybe like a little bit of blue here on her cheek and a little bit on her nose there. And a little bit here and down on her chin and a little bit on this cheek, I guess, since we did the other cheek, except that was too low. So add it there. Let's add a little bit of green while we're at it. Where do we want the green on the red? Maybe over here in this area, and then over on this area where it's going to be tucked in. And then on her face, maybe a little under her nose and a little bit under her, no, I don't want under her eyes. That'll make her look a little bit like she's bruised. Like the highlight, the colors usually are near the highlighted area, I think. And then we will add a little bit of purple to this hood, especially. I want a few varying colors so the hood's not just this big block of red. So I'm going to put this in like so, and maybe I'll just turn it off of overlay and put it on normal and add just a few little like stronger marks that we can work in with the highlights or whatever. So that just kind of gives it a multi-tone look. And maybe a little bit of blue even in some of the shadows. I'm going to work it in there, put one here, here, and give it just kind of like this colorful look. So it's a little bit, oops, I don't know what I didn't mean to, I messed up a setting, sorry. I think I'm going to actually go to overlay though. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick a nice bright red and like put it over here, so this cape still looks very, very red in certain areas, because it's a little bit it's a little bit purple and blue now. I just messed it up. It's okay. So yeah, we'll put that in like that, so we'll have a little bit more red. I think that still looks pretty red though. Okay, so then we'll go normal and we'll go oh, I never had it on overlay. I have no skills. My dog is barking. I don't know if anyone can hear that. I'm gonna go back to overlay now that I realized I didn't do that proper. I'll put it in now. Let's make the color a little bit darker. I know you guys can't see. This will add just a nice rich redness to it if I do that. And that looks a little better. Now I'm happy. Just have to keep adding those little touches. Okay, and while I still have overlay, I guess I'm going to put a little bit around her nose and her eyes. A little bit of red, I mean. I guess I'll just kind of blanket it over her mouth, even though we still have a lot of work to do. And yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm going to take a quick drink here. Sorry. Okay. I chugged it and then I muted it and I was like, but now I'm worried that there's too much quietness. So, hello Edwin Toys. I hope you're having a nice day. A good nice day. It's pig Latin time, I guess. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back to normal and just keep working. I think I've got everything pretty much sketched in. I'm happy with this being sort of like the base of how it's going to turn out. So I think what I'm going to do now is zoom in and work on the features a little bit more. The detailing of the features. There's something out there. Maybe it's the UPS man is making my dog very angry. He's definitely telling someone to bug off. Okay. You don't speak English? You seem to be doing okay. I understand everything you're saying. ¿Hablas español? I no puedo hablar mucho. Yeah, I said, do you speak Spanish? And then I said, I don't speak a lot. For anyone else who's listening. I took a little bit of Spanish in high school and a little bit in college, but it's not, I can understand it better than I can speak it, which is kind of a silly thing, I guess. So I'm going to feather, and I'm going to I might liquify that actually. I'm trying to think of how this eye shape is a little bit too much, a little bit different. I think I'll just work on fixing it by hand for a minute here. The part, yeah, it's like really messed up, but I think I could just work it out like this, and then this needs to go up and then come up like this. And this needs to go out and up a little bit more. So I'll just kind of work on it. If it gets really messy, I'll just paint over it. So I don't want it to go out all the way to the corner of her eye. I want a little bit of skin there. That usually is there. Perfecto. Gracias. Yeah. I think something... now I'm regretting that I didn't liquify it. No, we can work this out. I think I'm going to turn my opacity up a little bit while I do this edit. I'm from the United States. I live in the Rocky Mountains. So there's certainly a lot of Spanish-speaking people here, but I speak English. Where are you from? I'm always kind of curious, like, people don't have to tell me specifics, but like general regions of the world where they're from. Let's see here. I think I'll have her eye go like that. And then I'm going to just warp it into shape now. But I've got a little bit more of the shape that I want. I'm going to feather it. And then it's going to go back like that. And I'm going to zoom out and flip it and see if it's lining up right, and it's not. I don't know if it's this one. This one might be more of a problem. Let's just move it around a bit and see if it looks better higher up like that. Excuse me. No, I think... I think it is this eye. It's hard to be able to tell sometimes. But I think this eye needs to go down like that. And then some of what is making me a little bit confused is we should have a nice dark shadow in here. Like that. And then we should have like a highlighty part here where her nose is coming out. Like that. And I don't think this is coming in quite enough. So maybe a little bit more like that. And then if I do that, I can see now what this eye needs to do. So feather this and move this eye in a little bit more like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's something off. I can't quite place it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad my Spanish is understandable. It's much more difícil to say, you know, complex sentences. Palabras estás más difícil a, ¿cómo se dice? To remember. It's hard to remember words. But I think I forgot to feather this mouth when I fixed it earlier. We'll just keep going. So, yeah, I think that's a little better for the eye shapes. The nose isn't quite perfect either. I'm going to turn my opacity back down. I'm actually going to turn my hardness down a little bit so my future brush strokes will be a little more forgiven when they're brought in. Recordar las palabras. Okay, okay. She's, they said to remember the words, I think. To recordar, recordar? I hope that's right. Yeah, I'm always kind of curious, people who speak different languages, and if they speak German or Italian or anything like that. I'm always kind of interested in learning, like, I knew someone who could speak, well, Russ Mix Alive, who I've already talked about earlier. He can speak, I think, like 6 languages. And that's always very impressive to me when someone picks up that many languages. Yep, I just speak English, bad English, and bad Spanish. That is it. Okay, so let's see. I'm still not super happy about the shape of this eye, but I'm going to go with it, and then I'll make corrections as needed in the future. Some of it is, I think this is coming out a little bit. You understand basic English? If it's more leisurely, I understand something. Yeah, it's, I think there's certain things, like when you watch like kids shows, it's easier to understand them, but if you watch like a movie with a lot of rápido speaking, hablas rápido. Oh, do you speak both Mexicano? I'm sure you can speak Spanish much better than I can. Like I said, I've always been able to understand it. Like, because I think of, like, I can understand it better than speak it, and then I try to come up with how to say it in Spanish. And I know, like, better is mejor, but I'm like, do you say yo, or, you know, hablo, or recuerdo, or this is I think that's my brain stuttering. Puedo, ¿cómo se dice understand? Was it recordar, or is that to remember? Yeah. Mejor que hablo. It's just so broken. I should, like, start watching more Spanish shows and stuff. I was watching, it's kind of an adult show on Netflix called Narcos, and they speak Spanish. I should watch that, but, you know, probably like kid-friendly ones. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll get this in. I like this eye shape better than it was before. And we'll work in the nose detail. I want this to be a lot darker now. I think I don't want it quite like that. Since the light's coming here, I don't want it. I'd like the darkest part to be right by the nostril area. And actually, usually there's like a little bit of highlight that goes right there, as weird as it is. Okay, let's see. Hello, Mexican. We are in town where English is not taught. That's why it costs us And then they said, nosotros estamos en un pueblo donde no se español, or no se enseña inglés, por esto nos cuestas. I think I understand everything, but I mean, I know what the translation is since they said it. So they don't teach any English in the schools. No, I don't know. Teach inglés en los. I can't think of any words. I don't know what's wrong with me. In the schools. What is school? I used to know school. To teach. What is to teach even? I don't know. I need a translator. Yeah, so let's see. I think I've gotten a little bit slower. The more I get like engaged with chat, the slower I get. Everyone has to be a little bit forgiving of me. So I want to put a little bit of a shadow in there where you wouldn't see it. And oops, I don't want it there. There'll be a little highlight area here, I think. And the shadow will carry on down to here. And then it will be mostly erased right on the edge here. I don't really like that there's such a sharp edge here. I mean, some of it is, I think I want this to go a little bit more like towards where the eyebrow is, I guess. And then maybe a little bit darker of a shadow in here. Something like that. And then maybe a tiny bit of a blend there. I think that's a little better. And then I think I want a nice like triangular shape here on the nose where the shadow is. And then over here will be a highlight by the nose. Let's see. And then the shadow area here. And then there'll be a little bit of a highlight going up there. I think that's shaded in a little bit better. Let's see. I'm just trying to read this. Si en mi tiempo no se enseñaba en las escuelas. Escuelas is school. I guess enseñar is to teach. That's my guess. So they haven't taught in the schools for 40 years. They haven't taught English, I suppose. And then it says, Ahora recién pero muy poco, solo basics. I think I'm something right now. They do something but very basics. Now, but just very little basics. Yeah, in school. Okay, I see. Did you tell me which country you were in? You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just curious. ¿Qué es la país que tú vivir? Vivas? I hope that's understandable. I tried to ask, where is the place that you live? Because I don't remember country. Let's see here. I'm going to put her eyes a little bit more defined here now. So we'll have this here, and then I'm going to put this here. I think this eye is a little bit smaller than this eye for some reason. Mess that up, but I can always just fix it. The beauty of digital painting. And then I think her eyes should be blue. I think that's what I did on my preview image too, or I mean my thumbnail that I was quickly sketching earlier. I think I had it so she's going to be looking over here. I always forget how I had it in the sketch, but I want her to be looking over here now. So she could be like that. And it always kind of helps when you put the circles, or you know, the irises in, then you can start to see like this eye is actually more of a problem than I realized. So I'm going to save, I'm going to merge that layer, create a new duplicate layer, create a clipping mask, and I'm going to go into liquify, so it won't change for a minute. Let's see, can I blow this up, or are you going to be stubborn on me? No, it's sometimes it like takes it a minute. So I'm gonna move the bottom lid up is what I'm doing currently, because right now that eye was just a little bit like, I don't mind it looking like very open, but it was like not matching up with the other one. So I wanted that to be the case, that it matches up. So I'm gonna move this up a little bit like that to reshape it. And then on the other one, I'm actually gonna move this part, the right-ish part, out a little bit. Let's take a look and see how that looks. So that was before, and that's after. I think it's a little bit more shaped up now, except I'm gonna have to move this circle over a little bit because it's not far over now that I've made those adjustments. It's not far over enough. So I guess I've kind of lost my blue color. Let's just pick up another one. You say, muy bien hablas. I think she or he, Edwin, I guess is a guy. I'm not even paying attention to the name, I'm sorry. Edwin says, I speak well. And then they say, Teva Quindano muy lindo la imagen. Lindo is slow, very slow. The image, or I don't know, I can't quite make that one out, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I just lost the color I'd picked. I was gonna work on these eyes some more. So I'm gonna move this whole thing over more here, and then we'll do the same one. Well, this one is just gonna stay where it's at. So I think that looks pretty nice, like that maybe. And then I'm just gonna round it out now, so it can be a little bit more shapely. It sticks out a little bit funny there. I just want to round that out, and then I'm gonna put a like outline around the eye. And I wish Google or YouTube or whatever had like a feature where you could just highlight any word and translate it, because I do use Google Translate quite a bit, and I go in and I'll like copy someone's thing and I'll paste it in there, and it auto detects and stuff, and I think it's fun. But I wish they had like a plugin or something where you could have it where you could highlight it and then select translate like on the fly. I think that would be fun. Does it look weird? I wonder if that her eye over here is like, her eyeball over here is higher than over here. Maybe. Let's zoom out and hit this. Okay, I'm gonna flip it and flip it. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try something a little bit crazy. I'm gonna move the whole top part in a little bit in the liquify. So I'm going to liquify right now, and I'm gonna select it and move the whole top part of her head a little bit over. And I'll show you what I mean in a second when it renders and goes into the actual thing. So that was before, and that's after. And I think having that moved in a little bit, I'm gonna flip it over just to make sure. I think that looks a little bit better now. I think her head was a little bit off. Oh, te dijo mi, like, for nos vamos a un cumpleaños. I think you're saying, ¿qué es dijo? Nos vamos a un cumpleaños, I think is we have to go to a birthday. Con Edwin, que es mi hijo. So I think they're saying with Edwin, who is my child. Okay, well, happy birthday to them. Feliz cumpleaños. Okay, so now let's see. I'm going to keep marking her hair. I guess we'll go to the hair layer and mark her hair a little bit before we finish the eyes in. I want to know where the hair is going to be. So, put a little bit of black in here. All right, well, have a good day, and feliz cumpleaños, Edwin. Thank you for joining. It was nice talking with you. Okay, so I want a highlight color for here, and I think we'll go a little bit brown, and I'm gonna put that in. It's a little bit tricky to put highlight colors for black. De nada. Because you kind of have to pick, are you gonna make it look sort of brown? Are you gonna make it look sort of blue, which like a lot of cartoons will go blue for the highlights, or are you gonna make it look a little bit you know, green or whatever. So I'm gonna go with this brownish color, and I think we won't go too crazy on defining the hair. Eres genial. I am generous. I have to look up all these words. I guess I've lost some of my vocabulary on these words. But gracias. Okay, let's see here. So I think just doing a few little strands here before we move on to get her hair a little more defined. We'll have a few in here. I have this area back here. I'm actually just going to make a quick... There's two places where I've missed with the black, so I'm going to make a layer behind it and just kind of quickly fill those in so that I can keep using my clipping masks. So save there, and now we'll go in and finish those eyes that I've kind of creepily half put in. So I want a little bit of highlight over like a wrinkle of the skin there. So I'll do that, and a little bit over here too. I sure wish I had brought up some like a picture of some eyes or something. I always keep thinking I'm going to remember to do a reference this time, but I never remember. So there'll be some errors here. I guess I should do a disclaimer that I can't draw very realistically. Something like that. We'll just add some like makeup looking like eyeshadow. Girls' eyes are always a little bit easier to do than guys because you can sort of fake it with some makeup and shadows from the makeup and stuff. So like under here, she might have a little bit of a shadowed area, and then right at the corner, I've kind of lost it, but there's usually like a little bit of a highlight. And then right here, there's a little bit of a highlight that goes down into the cheek. And then over here, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow that may make it a little bit more saturated by the corner of the eye. So it goes in like that, and I've kind of lost the definition there. And then if you want your stuff to look really nice, something that you can do, which I might do at the end here, what I'll do a little bit here is put like a little tiny highlight over here, like where the cheek is, and when I blow it out in a minute, you can see the effect that that has. It makes it just kind of look like this area is a little more detailed. I'm going to blow it down a little bit. So I guess I can zoom out right now. And you can see like that sticks out a little bit more. I have that shadow not blended in yet, so she looks a little bit like she's got zombie eyes. Okay, just making sure that I think I thought I had muted it by accident, but I did not. So we're okay. So that's what you would do if you didn't have like all this stuff here. So because I've given her a little bit of zombie eyes, I'm going to kind of soften that up, and then I'm going to make this whole area a little bit more in shadow because she'll be covered by that the hoodie a little bit. And I might go in and add some better shadows, but maybe not. I'm always kind of indecisive. What I want to do now is add a little bit of highlights into the eyes here, and a little bit over here. And then I'm going to add shadows. So I'm going to turn my brush all the way to soft and just kind of work these shadows in here. And I'm not going to do the full shadows. I just want to get some in there before I continue. And shadows go at the corners of the eyes a little bit too. And then I'm going to turn my hardness up to like 60%. I'm going to turn my opacity up a lot. And I'm going to add a little pupil here before I continue. one here and one here. And then I'm going to zoom out and make sure her pupils match and she doesn't have what I call derp eyes, where like one goes over to the side and one goes the other way. So something like that. And hopefully that's working nicely. I'm going to move this eye up a little bit. Feather. I never quite got this eye in place right. So I think moving it up like that will help. Let's see, that was before. And that's after. I think that looks good. Maybe even a little bit. I'm going to nudge it down a little bit. It's always kind of hard to picture exactly where you want. I think that looks good. I'm going to flip it back over and go back up here. Oops, I had a warning message. I don't know if you guys saw that. Just clear out of there. And then I'm going to go to overlay and I'm going to pick a nice, well for now I'm going to turn my opacity way down and I'll turn my hardness way down. I'm going to throw in some black around the pupil. I didn't do that pupil super round, did I? That's okay. And that's because there's usually kind of a shadow looking area around the pupil. And then I'm going to add some of these like line details around here while I'm at it. And over here. And they're like, if you ever seen an eye all blown up, it looks a little bizarre. Okay, let's see. Overlay. I'm going to turn this a little bit more blue. So I think we've lost some of that like green blue look that I want. So I'm going to try to streak it in here a little bit more saturated. And there we go. This one's not picking it up well. Let's add a little bit more. There we go. It's a little better. And then just clean this eye up just a little bit. So like over here, I didn't quite get the outline of the eyeball very good. So I'll do this a little bit better. I'm not very good at drawing eyes very cleanly, but that's a little bit better. Okay, and then now I'm going to go in and add some nice highlights of the eyes. So let's go to color dodge. And this is my brush mode that I'm changing. And I'm going to go around and kind of just streak in some nice, beautiful, bright highlights for the eyes. And I'm just kind of picking up my tablet pen a lot as I do this so that they come out looking nice and shiny. This eye, for some reason, is not cooperating with me on looking nice. Maybe I'll cover it a little bit more with the hair. And then I'm going to go to normal brush mode. I'm going to turn my hardness way up again and my size a little bit more. I'm sorry you can't see the brushes. I really wish that I could figure out how to do that on OBS. Oh, actually, before I do the highlights, I lied. I'm going to turn my hardness all the way down, and then I'm going to add those really dark shadows now. And this will be kind of the final shadow adding area. So you want them, and then I'm going to go to overlay actually and add a few like way over the eye so we don't lose that detail. So that a little bit too much. Maybe I went shadow happy. I think I did. Let's go back a little bit. It's about there. And then put that one in there. And then I will go to, I'm going to flip it over while I still have overlay with white. And I'm just going to put the whites of the eyes a little bit more in here. So right now they weren't showing up too great. So that's probably a little too white on that one. But yeah, we want these eyes to be like striking. So we're going to blend them out, or, you know, make them look nice and obvious. This one over here is just looking a little too bright. So I'm going to take the overlay and quickly put one over it. So that was before, that's after, that just so it matches a little bit. And I'm okay with her having strikingly white eyes. I just don't want them to be too misplaced. And then I will have the going to normal, and then I'm going to turn my hardness back up to like 64, and then I can add that really bright highlight for the highlight of the eye. And we'll do one like down here too on the edge of the thing, and then one like maybe maybe like over here, and then like over here. So she's got very lively eyes now. Let's zoom out. This eye might be a little bit too dark. Maybe, yeah, I think it is a little too dark. So I'll set my brush to multiply, and oh, I don't want it quite that high of opacity. And turn my hardness all the way down, and I will just make it so it's a little bit darker, especially over on this corner where the hair is laying over. So I think that's a little bit better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some, I guess eyelashes is the word. I never really did finish the eyes though, so maybe I'll come in and add just a few more little details of the eyes there and there, and then I don't want to give her like huge bags under her eyes, but I do want to give her some like a little bit of a look like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. So her shadows in there, and they kind of scroll in. It's like, so the eyes look like they're in the skull and not just like randomly on the face. I'm going to change this color a little bit as I add it in, give her a little bit more of a peachy glow over here on her cheek, and I can add a little bit of that color over here so it matches, and blend that in like that. And then we'll do a little bit over here. I'm going to add a little bit to the nose there, and we're going to add in that nostril that we never really did there. And then we'll add the little bit of highlight that you'd see here. I think I'm going to turn my hardness up a little bit hard. When your hardness is all the way down, it looks a little bit like too fuzzy. So add that a little bit in like that. And then I guess we should work on her lips. And at one point I obviously moved her lips and forgot to feather it, which is why there's this very hard line that we will quickly blend in here. And I'm just gonna kind of pick up all the colors around it and blend it in for a minute. So I'll just quickly do that. And yeah, I think that's already looking better. I think we've got it like that. The chat's gone so quiet. Everyone must be concentrating on a task of their own. So then her nose needs to, this shadow needs to come in a little bit. So I'll just kind of work it in so it's not just like super obvious all of a sudden. I'll just kind of blend it in, work it in like that. And some of it'll help when we do the highlighted area over there. That'll help it stick out. And by highlighted over there, I mean on the bridge of her nose, which I will get to. So let's work on her lips a little bit. I've ignored her lips quite a bit here. So we'll put in the middle seam of her mouth like that, and move it over, put it in over here like that. And it's a little bit chunky. A little bit chunky right now, but that's okay. Let's pick a nice color for her lips, and I think I'm gonna go kind of like a nude tone. If you are talking about like oh, this isn't quite nude, it's a little pink, but if you're talking about like lipstick colors, you go kind of like a nude tone. Means like basically your skin tone. I think this will be a good color, I think, for her. And just kind of add that in. Her lips over here will be catching the light, so let's give them a nice little highlight over in this like square of skin. If that makes sense, like right here. Like it'll be a little bit of a shadowed area down here where her, because your mouth protrudes a little bit right under your nose, and then there'll be like a little bit of highlighted area right over there. So I want to work that in, and then we'll get another little bit of highlight here right on the edge of her lips. Give her, is that a Cupid's bow? Might be the name of that. Okay, and then give her a little bit darker area here. And then I want a shadow kind of in like two triangular shapes right above the downward U shape of the seam of her mouth. So that is my plan, working that in like that. And I think I've given her mouth looks like a little scrunched up. So I'm going to fix that by selecting the whole mouth And, oops. I do want this corner. I don't know, can you guys, I sure hope you can see selections. And then, oops, let's not forget to feather. That's quite a selection I've done. Maybe it'd be better if you couldn't see this one. Oh, I just saw you can see it. Okay. So since it looks a little scrunched now, I'm actually just going to like widen it and shrink it to get that like shape that I want. So it's like that was before and that's after, and then I'm going to move it a little bit. I'm going to zoom out while I move it to figure out where I want it. So yeah, I think right there is okay. And then I'm going to go to liquify and just make a few little modifications. So filter, liquify, and then I'm zooming in. I guess I'll tell you what I'm doing since it just sits on the image when I'm in this part. I'm zooming in and just going to try to reshape. So I want her bottom lip to kind of be smaller, but I don't want to like shrink it in the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is move it in at the right, where the corner of the right of the image, not right, her right, and just kind of move it in like that, and then a little bit underneath. So her bottom lip appears a little bit like more like it's shrunken in, and then the top lip area by the corner of her mouth I'm going to move down. So let's take a look and see if I like these changes that I've made. So that was before and that's after, and I might have lost a little more fullness than I meant, but I'm actually going to go with that and just rework the fullness in rather than get rid of that change. So this lip I'm just going to make it down a little bit more, and we can still erase that corner there, and then we can have the seam a little bit more established there. And yeah, I think that there's something a little bit off, but I'll move on and come back to it, because that's usually how I discover what's wrong with it. So now what I want to do is go to overlay for a minute, and I want to work in a little bit of a shadow area right under the hood, like here. I'm just using black, and I have my opacity at about 12, and I'm going to put a little bit of shadow here and a little bit behind the nose and under here. The reason why I'm using overlay is so I don't like lose all my progress of I don't paint over it. This is just like applying a color over it instead. And then I'm going to go to color dodge, and I'm going to pick kind of a blue color, like a light blue color, and I'm going to work in some highlights because she is severely lacking in any kind of bright highlights. I think I'm going to turn my opacity down. It was at 12, and I'm going to turn it down to 5, and I'm going to, yeah, work in some highlights for her cheeks over here and down here. I kind of jump around a lot. I know I didn't finish her lips. I'll put like a little bit of highlight over here on them and come back to them in a second. And detail them out. Man, her lips just look a little bit funky. I think I've really messed up. Hi, Power Surge. I don't know when you said that. I haven't looked at my chat in forever. How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. I'm trying to figure out all the little things I've done wrong here with this portrait as I'm working on it. And then I contemplate silently. Well, while I'm here, I'm going to go back to overlay, and I'm going to pick that black, turn my opacity up again, and I'm going to add like a dark part of this, make this part of her cape a little bit darker, so that this, since this is going to be the light source, we want this part darker right till about there. We want to make like a little bit of a line, and we'll still have that part coming out like it's highlighted. In fact, I can just switch over to the white. Let's turn my hardness down rather, like here and here and then here, so those little highlights won't be totally lost, and we'll still have the highlight here. Doing pretty good, just trying to draft together some video ideas and college stuff. Oh, that's cool. What's your major in college? I guess that's the question you're not supposed to ask because everyone asks it and it's annoying. So you don't have to answer that if you don't want. My day has been pretty good. I've had my usual technical nightmares before starting this. But besides that, I've been having fun. Okay, I think that's good on the cape. So I'm gonna go to this layer and erase. I guess I want, yeah, that's a good hardness. Erase this little bumpy thing. Just needs to be a little bit better shaped. So I'm gonna shape that in a little bit more. And then maybe come here. I'm still on overlay and get that shadow in, nail that in like that. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go to, wow, I guess while I'm on overlay, I might as well add a little bit of a blush to her too, because I think she's looking kind of a yellowish color right now. So I think I'm going to just add a little bit of color. That's too much color. I have it all the way on 28% opacity, that's why. So yeah, we're just gonna add a little bit of color here, and we'll add a little to the nose, and we might as well splash those lips while we're there. And a little bit to the corner of the eye there. And then I think what's going on here, I'm gonna go to normal. You have to like sit there and think. Let's see, just the basics: algebra, composition, government, and psychology. Oh, okay. So out of those subjects, do you have one that's a favorite or one that's a pain in your butt? I was never a fan of history. Not that that was one that you listed. That was probably my least favorite. And then I grew more of appreciation for it once I was out of school, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I'm kind of a news junkie now. I like to like read and catch up on things, although it can be very depressing. And it's kind of a hard thing to swallow sometimes, all the stories that you see, so it's not like something I do when I'm eating anymore. Sometimes I do, but not always. Okay, I think I'm going to take a minute here. There's a couple things, like her face needs to be, let's see, I'm going to turn my hardness up a little bit while I'm doing this. Face needs to be refixed. Like there's a couple little funny line looking things here. We'll just cover that, or I mean we'll just kind of mark that in so they're not doing that. Yeah, and then I think I'll move a couple of these out a little bit too while I'm here, so we don't lose that fullness of her cheeks. And then let's see, oops, I want to cancel that. I opened my preferences by accident. And then I'm going to, I think what her mouth is a little bit, like her bottom lip is sticking a little too far out. So if I do this, will this help the shape? Let's take a look. So, oops, did that make it better or worse? And then, yeah, I think it made it better on this side, worse on this. But let's just paint that out a bit here. I've lost my look here, my seam here now. So I'll just fix that up here a bit. Yeah. It's a tie between psychology and composition, but I appreciate composition a bit more since it got me back into reading and writing. Oh, that's good. I was not much of a reader until after school. They have you read so many, well, they had me read so many terrible books that it kind of put me off for a while. There were certain books that I just couldn't even get through. It was such torture. Like the Iliad and the Odyssey. I know they're a classic. I'm probably saying like blasphemy things by saying that, but imagine if you enlarge lips to fit the whole face. Should she be like lip face? Let's see here. Does she look better now? That's perfect. She looks gorgeous. We nailed it. That reminds me of that like angry Orange Show, I think was the name. They used to have like these oranges, and they would just superimpose people's lips on them, and they look really silly. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go to liquify and mess with those lips a little bit more. Just another little bit. See if I can get them more to what I want them to look like. The old liquify tool where you can just kind of play around with it till it looks right. That is the number one. I don't know if I like liquify or the lasso tool. You can't even like, I don't know. It's like trying to pick the difference between your favorite cartoon when you love them all. You can fit a whole chicken in that. She's got amazing chicken eating skills, I guess. I don't actually eat chicken anymore. I used to, and then I started raising them, and now it just doesn't feel right. I still eat other meat. I just thought that was kind of weird. Like, I just can't get over it now. I look at the chicken bits, and I'm like, oh, I remember my chickens. Maybe like if you had a dog, and then someone offered you dog meat, and you're just like, I think I'll pass. I don't know, maybe not. I guess that depends on who you are. So I'm gonna have that. Let's put like a shadow under this. So it's a little bit more like that. I never did get her lips right. I'm sure I'll come back to this like a day later and be like, I know exactly how to fix them. But for now I'm having my usual problems with them. They look too far over, but then if I move them, they don't look right either, I don't think. So let's see, feather, and if I move them over, does that look better? I don't know. She's got a little bit of a smirky mouth. Let's fix the shadows on this side of her face, and that might help a little bit. So go to brush, blow it up a little bit, and we want a little bit of shadow down here and here. So yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to obsess over them any more than this. I'm going to go to overlay and paint them a little bit and give her a little bit more color. And then I will move on, and maybe I'll come back to them later. Give them a little bit color here and a little bit color here. And then I guess while I'm down here before I leave, I'll want to do the little highlight here on the side of her lip so it doesn't just disappear there into the I don't know, into the side of her face. We'll give her lips a few little highlights and another more defined shadow right under here. And we'll just kind of work that in a little bit. Maybe like that. And then I don't want this to be all the way down here, so I'll work this in a little bit here too. And I'm just picking up the colors. Gotta do something real quick. Okay. And yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go liquify and fix a little bit of her chin there. And then I will move on to just doing the final detailing. Had a little bit, I don't think I went to liquify. You guys couldn't see that, but I was like, where am I? I had gone into a strange menu. I might have gone into like perspective. Okay, and I'm going to fix her chin. It's a little bit droopy down just right where it meets the neck, so I moved it up a little bit, and you can see there, not much of a change. But, while we're down here, might as well add, let's turn my hardness way, way down. Might as well add a little bit of a highlight where her chin is. I'll just mess that up. It's a pretty messy highlight. That's okay. And a little bit of shadow right under. And then we'll blend that in, blend that highlight in, and the shadow in, and that creates like a more distinguished chin, I guess is the word, or jawline or something. Let me see if I zoom out. You can just see it a little bit better. yeah, I think that looks good. So I'm gonna work on her hair for a little bit now. And I'm gonna make this a little bit more defined, work on getting some strands, like maybe we'll have a few strands coming over her eye like that. And maybe a few over here too, like this area over here is pretty messy looking. We could fix that with a few strands of hair. I never gave her eyelashes, I realized that too. I'll go in and give her some eyelashes so she doesn't look so silly. Gotta have your eyelashes. Maybe it's a style, the no eyelash style. So I've lost my highlight color because I hit D for black, or for default for the colors. So I go back in and get something here. And yeah, I think this is looking pretty close to being sort of finished. I'm gonna do a background before I'm totally finished. But we'll have that here for the back, or for the hair. I just want a little bit more hair showing on that side. And a little bit over here. And I think I've had a thought. I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna go to liquify, and I'm gonna blow up my brush, and I'm gonna move her face a little bit up on this side. We'll see how this looks because I've got the hair layer on another layer, and I move her nose up a little bit. I think that might help her look a little. Let's take a look and see if that looks better or worse. So that was before, that's after. A little bit of a nose up and a little bit of a chin up. I can't decide. I think I like the chin better, but not the nose. I'm gonna redo it just for the chin, and I'll leave the nose as is. So I'm gonna move her chin up just a little bit. Let's take a look. I think that's better now. Alright, so then we'll go back. I do want to give her hair a little bit more detail. I was going to leave it mostly undetailed because it's mostly in the shadow of the robe. But yeah, we'll give her a few highlights here, and then I'm going to go back and kind of get rid of them in a minute with just the strands of black. So I'm going to take this, well, I don't want that black color. I'll take this kind of color and move a few of these strands in like they're shadows, I guess, of the other hair. And I'll move this over here, and let's blend that in a little bit. Get that highlight looking nice. Something like that. I think that looks good. I'm gonna get rid of that. I guess I can blend this part in a little better. And this part in a little better. And by this part I just mean these individual strand areas right under her cloak. And then we'll go in now and give her eyes a little bit more detail, because right now they're a little blurry. So I don't want black, I want a nice kind of red brown color. And I'm gonna go in and give her eyelash, or her eyelids a little bit more detail. So we'll have that in there, and then a line here for this one. And over here we'll have a little bit more detail. And a line in here, although you won't be able to see it much. And we had some liquid. Let's continue it up here. And this is just to make her eyes look a little bit more alive and glossy. We'll do the same over here. We'll have a little bit of liquid. And put that in like that. I think her eye over here is a little, and yeah, I think that looks a little better. And then I'm gonna go to overlay, and I'm gonna add this like red area of her corner of her eye. I think that looks a little bit nicer when you have that little bit of red in there, a little bit over here. And then I go to normal, and I add a little bit of a highlight over it to like distinguish what that is. That's like some red thing. A tear duct, maybe? I don't know what it is. You could see it when you zoom out. I didn't really do it right on the her left eye / the right eye side. I think it looks okay now. And then we'll do the what are they called? Eyelashes. So we'll just start painting in a few eyelashes. She's not super refined this time around. That's okay. I think it's just going to be a messy sort of Little Red Riding Hood sketch. And we'll add a few eyelashes here, even though you'll barely be able to see them. And turn my hardness up a little bit, make my brush a little smaller, and give her eyelashes just a little more detail. In fact, I'm going to turn my opacity up a little bit and throw those in but a little bit darker so that they can show up a little better. Yeah, I think that looks nice, like that. And then we'll do a few on her bottom. So just a little, I'm gonna mark in a little bit of makeup before I totally commit to these. Just a few little straggly ones. The secret to eyelashes is just, especially on the bottom parts, is to spread them out and not have them all, I mean, like, you clump them together, but then you kind of have them like there's like a big chunk where there's no eyelash. So, oops, I messed that one up. Let's go back and fix that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I think this looks a little better. Should we give her a little bit of makeup? I don't know. We'll give her not really makeup, but like kind of a red shadowed look over here to just kind of give that Little Red Riding Hood look. And we'll do a little bit under here too. That's how I apply my own makeup. I put a little underneath. I think that looks right. Let's fix this eye's shape. Both eyes turned out to be a little too round, so it's not that big a deal if it's not like super natural looking, but I'm going to maybe try to mark them in just a little bit. And I should probably done this before I did the eyelashes, huh? That's okay. And then I'm going to mark this one down. Get these a little bit more natural looking. So that's before, and they're just a little bit of the roundness is gone now. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm almost done. Maybe now that I've done that adjustment, maybe her eyes need to be just a little tiny bit blown up. Let's see what it looks like that. So we'll feather it 15 and then we'll blow it up a little bit like that. I'm trying to decide. Does that look good? Okay, so let's see. That was before and that's after. Before and after. I think the after looks good, but I'm going to move this over a little bit like that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. And then this whole side of her face, I'm a little bit worried about it. Maybe what's happening is that this whole thing is a little too big, but that's quite a fix to do. I don't know. Let's just kind of mess with it and see if it'd be worth it if we shrunk it in a little bit. Nah, I don't think it's that bad. I think I'll leave it as is, and I'm going to add a quick background. And I was going to look up a picture of the moon, but I guess I'll just leave it for now. So I'll do moon, and a new layer for a moon, and I'm gonna place it in. We'll see how this turns out. If I don't like it, I can do something else. I don't want a red moon. I mean, I could make a red moon, but I don't want to start with red. Let's see, hardness, turn that up so that I can get, actually, what am I doing? I'll use the ellipse tool so I don't have to worry about it not being perfect. So I'll have this nice big moon here. I don't know if the ellipse will show up. Maybe, hopefully it will. And then I'm going to fill it just with that color I've got right there. And then I can create a clipping mask, and we'll make a, I guess, I don't know, does the moon have like a shadow? I guess if it's, I don't know if that'll look good. Let's turn my opacity down, and I'm going to start adding some like marks, like where the like craters are. Trying to think of the word. I know there's like a big whitish crater down here that looks like it sprawls out and maybe goes up like that. I don't know what it looks like. And then I think instead of a shadow at the edge, more likely what you should have is like a nice like ring of light. Probably. It's already looking a little bit like a moon, maybe. Okay, so the craters might have like some spots here. Yeah, this does not have to be that detailed of a moon. Let's just kind of mark in some areas where it could be, you know, textured and stuff. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, but as long as we have like varying values of color, I think it'll look okay. And I think this is a good color for the moon too. Maybe we will do like a red moon. You could always go and colorize it and make it like a creepy red moon or something. But for now, we'll just keep it the boring, so almost white moon. And let's add a few more whites now. What does anyone out there think? Does this look like a moon? Maybe it does. Maybe it's getting too detailed now. Let's just kind of add some smeary colors on it to wipe out some of those details. I think that looks pretty good. I want to take pure white and really give it a nice glow around it. And yeah, should we do? Let's see what it would look like as a rainbow moon. I have a cheat for that. And there we go. It's the rainbow moon. That does look pretty funny. She should have like a whole rainbow face too. Let's just make this whole thing a rainbow. I guess I don't have it over her. I gotta move it to the top layer. There we go. It's a little bit kind of a sad rainbow. Let's do it like that. It's like a nightmare Nanya cat. Nana cat? Whatever that would be. I think I'm either gonna go blue moon or red moon. I don't know which would look better. Maybe like that color, but I don't want it quite that much like that. Was it dazzling? Did it dazzle you? Okay, so and then probably just some like cheaty branches in the back for the like background. So she's in the woods. Let's see, hardness. I don't want quite 100, but I do want some branches. These are gonna have to be over the moon. And let's pick a nice kind of brownish color for the branches, and they'll just go. Oops, these need to be at opacity 100 so that I can make these look fancy. Okay, so like a couple little cheaty branches in the background maybe. Everything's a little cheaty something for me. Just mark them out like that. Maybe this one will go way down. That could go up a little bit more. And we'll have one down here and some cheaty. I gotta stop saying the word cheaty. I think I've said it like 6 times. It's like a word gets stuck in your head almost when you're talking. I wonder if that happens to anyone else or just me. I'm sure other people go through that. Just a few branches like so. Like that. We're gonna have to work on some colorizing here. I think maybe I'll just make this like a nice big tree that you see behind her. I'll probably blur this a little bit, but I do want to get some values, so I'll make a clipping mask and put in some highlights on the branches, a little bit like around the branch areas. These might look a little weird. Maybe I was too hasty in making them, but it's okay. We'll see how they look when they're blurred and if I need to fix them before I blur them. And then we'll have like some here, some spots here where it's like catching, and then we'll have like a darker area in the joint areas where the light's not catching. And just doing a quickie quickie background kind of thing here. And we'll put them down here too. And then let's see, if I take those and I filter, blur them, do they look better or worse? Yeah, I think it looks kind of nice to have them like blurred out in the background, so she's like standing in the foreground. And then one other thing between the moon, I wonder what would happen if I made the moon just a little bit brighter. I wonder if that would help this. Let's see, I don't want to lose the detail, but I do want to make it a little bit brighter. Let's see, that was before, that's after. I do like it a little brighter. Let's do that. And between the moon and her, I'm going to put some clouds. I guess they will be behind the branches. So my easy to do clouds, 0 hardness and opacity like 19 is good. And we'll just kind of have clouds slash fog here in the background. So we'll just set that up like that. And then over the moon, maybe we'll have some really defined clouds where we have the shadows like that, and then a few like little things for the highlighted areas. I don't think this is showing up quite well enough. We just have to cover the moon over with it a little bit. And I'm trying to decide if it would be better to have it more white like that, like the clouds are catching. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we'll put the shadows in here and here, anywhere where the rolls of it might be. And then we'll go back to light and we'll work the lights in. These are kind of messy clouds. We can blur them if we actually have to. That's the secret to backgrounds, is just blur it and make it look like you have a narrower field of depth of perception. Depth of field, that's the word. Okay, I think something like that, and then we'll put it in like that. The clouds should probably be, let's make them a little bit blue. We'll colorize them just a touch blue, and I don't want it too much. Okay, that looks, maybe that looks a little bit like it's swallowing the moon weird. Yeah, I don't think I like it. I changed mine. I'm going to erase it and just add a few like foggy looking things instead. If I want clouds in front of the moon, I think I might have to, you'd have to make the clouds kind of dark looking and the moon really bright behind them. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to do this like foggy look. Okay, now that we've had the background, I'm going to make this a little bit darker to help this out a little bit, because her color doesn't quite match now. So I'm going to make this a little darker, and I'm going to go back up to her and make a few little color adjustments. So I'll go to levels, and then first I'm going to go to blue, because I think her shading's a little bit off. So I'm going to give her a little bit of an adjustment there. I don't think, yeah, let's give a little bit of adjustment with the green. And then with her actual look, I'm going to make her a little bit darker, but push her highlights a bit. So that's about all I can do with the adjustments via levels. So I'll do a few by hand now. So I'll take the brush, I'm going to go to multiply, and I'm going to take black, and I'm just going to work this in here and give her kind of a blacker shadow there, and one over here too. I think that looks pretty good. And now let's go to color dodge, and we'll work in the last of her kind of highlights that we want to push. So I want to give her one on her cheek over here. Am I on color dodge? No, I'm on normal. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Give her a little bit on the cheek here, a little bit on the nose, and a little bit on the cheek. A little bit like that. So maybe that's pushing the highlights a little bit funny. I think it's okay. And then I'm going to go to overlay, where I have definitely lost, hello, Cora. I don't know how to, if I should say Coratism? I'm very bad at pronouncing names. So I'm sorry if I butchered that. Yeah, I think her color here looks a little shadowed, so I'm going to add a little red to that. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to fix up a little bit of her hoodie here because it's kind of a mess. I guess I need to switch back to normal. How are you doing today? I'm going to call you Cora because I'm worried I'm going to butcher your name, if that's okay with you. If it's not, you can tell me no. I got it right the second time. What did I say the second time? Corazon? I think I've heard you say it, I'm sure. I'm just terrible at names. I should have... It's a good thing I'm not a teacher. I would have been the teacher that always mispronounces everyone's name. And I'm like, who is Jahan? And people are like, do you mean John? That would be me. Yeah, Corazon? I don't know if the T is silent. But Cora, I'll call her for now. Does live streaming too. She does it on Friday, and she might have done one yesterday, but I wasn't around and I haven't checked through all my subscription stuff yet. So I might have missed yours yesterday. I did check the week before and you weren't doing it, so I don't know if you did one this week. But you guys should definitely go and check her out on Fridays. I don't know what time to say, but Friday morning for me. She does fun like doodling and stuff, and she talks about her life and I guess everything in between. She draws like spiders and dragons and stuff. It's fun. So you guys should definitely... I'm on the wrong layer. That's why nothing's working. Names are hard for you, so you can definitely relate. Is this marking? Yeah, it's just very subtle. Okay, so I'm going to try to clean this little area up a little bit. I don't know how much I'm going to clean it up. I think I might leave it kind of in this rough stage. But I think we are coming down to about the end of it. So I'll just do a few little refining details. It says chat disconnected. Please wait while we disconnect you. That's never happened before. I wonder if my service is cutting out. I'm always a little bit nervous. But I'll add a few little details here and there to finish it off. And let's add a few little details. Usually just means like little fine shadows for me, to add like a little bit of detail to it. It's a shadow here. I mean a shadow and a highlight. I always say shadow when I mean highlight. And then, I don't know. So we'll do a little bit there. Let's have a little bit one here where the wrinkle might be. And then it'll be going into this shadow area here. It's okay if this is going to be sketchy. Like I said, I think I'm going to leave it a little bit in the sketching phase. We never did eyebrows properly, so let's go ahead and go in there and give her some proper ones. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, your live streams are really fun, and you helped me out with learning OBS, although I have my problems. I don't know why, but I always get these like glitchy black boxes. And I was going to go onto Reddit. This is like the third time I've told this story. If anyone's watching this all the way through, they're probably like, no, don't tell it again. I went onto Reddit to try to ask someone if they knew what the glitchy back boxes were about, and I couldn't get Reddit to load. It said, could not load page, retry, and I retried several times, and it didn't work. I don't know if Reddit was down or if there was something else going on. Oh, I don't want to do that on the hair layer. So I guess that'll be something I have to figure out for next time. For some reason, I always forget to draw the eyebrows, so I guess none of my characters need them. So I think that's looking good. If Mona Lisa didn't have eyebrows, now I have to look that up. I'm sure you're right, but I can't picture it. Yeah, let's see. Let's go back to here, add a few more highlights. I want like this area to be highlighted. If I zoom out like this, when I zoom back in, the look will be all sketchy, but that's okay. Let's kind of blow this up and give it like a nice glowy part too. So it's like just catching the backlight there a little bit. We'll do the same over here. I'm gonna actually go down to this layer. There's like a weird part of her cape that's sticking out here. I think I'm gonna shrink it up a bit. I don't want to take too much as I lop it off. Yeah, I think we'll just do that actually, and then I'll come in here and work that highlight a little bit like that. Their cape's just a little bit more normal looking. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. Maybe we could add like the overlay layer thing that I always do. Overlay, if I can type right. To just give it one last little kick before I finish it. She's a bit of a floating head. I didn't really quite get that framed in a bit. It's kind of art 101 that you don't do that. But no one did. I don't know. Maybe the art police will forgive me this time around. So I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm going to think about these. I don't think purple's the right color there. I'm going to add blue. I might turn this opacity down so it's not quite so strong. No, I like that. What does black look like over here? Too much. Let's not do black. Let's do like a dark, dangerous red looking color. And is that too much still? Maybe a little too much. Let's pick it up a little bit here. And maybe the purple will go behind her head like that. Should we do a third color? Because I feel like there's a lot of red, a little bit of blue. I don't know if we should bother with a third color. Let's see what yellow looks like. Maybe we don't have to use it. Let's have a little bit of yellow. Nah, I don't like yellow. I don't think I like it either way. What about a little bit of green, like a misty green to the top? The green might work a little better. I don't like it from the bottom for sure. Maybe the green instead of the purple. Yeah, I think that looks better. Let's actually expand it out a bit more. Looks like it's going to go over her head then too much. Oh, we'll just put it like right on the edge there. I think that's about it. I'll zoom it in. Yeah, I think this was fun drawing Little Red Riding Hood. I think I'll end it here. So thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you guys had fun, and I had a lot of fun. Maybe next time I can get the music to work that I couldn't get this time, so there's not just the awkward moments of me sitting there going green, red, and blue look really good together. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. So I am going to call it a day. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will be back Saturday, 11:30 my time, which I'll have to look up to see what that is, Universal time. I'll start posting it maybe in the comment section or something. So thank you everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video.